Hello guys, it is Grim Reaper 1312 666, better known as Nihilus. I'm a little ill, it's freaking hot, but still I have a schedule to hold. And this is the first upload of my schedule. It's Monday, so you all know what's gonna come. At Sugarcube Corner, yeah. Let's jump right into this little something. The hallway seemed endless, but I refused to look back. I was afraid I'd see her again, smiling, that unhinged smile of hers, as she bore down on me effortlessly. I shook my head to clear the thoughts. Even if by some dark and horrible miracle she was still alive, she would never move again. I choked back the urge to vomit once more. I had done unspeakable violence to her. Even if she was crazy, she was still, or used to be, one of my closest friends. Tears threatened to overwhelm me again, but I bit them back. Losing myself now wouldn't do any pony any good. I had to find the others, and I had to find them fast. Luna was probably trapped here too. If any pony would know what was going on, it would be her. The walls rushed past as I galloped harder, and I was running full force when I heard a sound come from down the hallway. It sounded like crying. I dug my hoofs into the ground, skidding to a stop, and perked my ears up, carefully trying to locate the source of the noise. I moved slowly forward, looking this way and that, until I finally reached a closed door. The sound was definitely crying, and it sounded like, "Fluttershy? Are you in there?" I called softly. I was still afraid, but my concern for my friend overrode the impulse to be quiet. I concentrated, wrapping the doorknob in a telekinetic sheath, and slowly pushed it open. My headache started pounding a little harder as I did. The sobbing sounds became more pronounced, but they still sounded distant. I looked in and saw a staircase leading down. I looked up for a moment. They were the same stairs from Sugarcube Corner. I choked back my fear and took the first few faltering steps down. My resolve hardened as I heard her voice. "But please, I'm sorry. We are so sorry. It's all my fault. It should have been me." I heard Fluttershy pleading with some pony. "Please, it hurts. But please stop." My heart nearly gave out when I heard the voice that answered. A voice thought I'd hear again, but it was different now, twisted by rage and pain. "You're right, friend. It should have been you, but it wasn't. It was me." I got down to the door and peeked in. A cyan-colored Pegasus covered in stitches and scars had her back to the door. Her wrecked mane was in disarray, but still held some of its original color, a bright rainbow pattern. Her wings were the most, though. They hung limply and were missing most of their feathers. At the shoulder muscles were thick metal surgical staples, keeping them haphazardly affixed to the Pegasus' back. Where her cutie marks should have been was only a mass of discolored scar tissue. Fluttershy was strapped to a metal slab raised chest high. Her wings were partially mangled. Pastel feathers littered the floor around the slab itself. Thick needles were keeping Fluttershy's wings spread to their full span, as the horrible revenant of our friend tore feathers out one by one with sickening viciousness. I shook with fear and rage. Fluttershy didn't deserve this. If any pony deserved to be punished here, it was me. I was the one who found them. I was the one who was too late. "Stop, Rainbow Dash!" I had barged in before I even realized what I was thinking. She did stop and slowly turned to face me. I shuddered as I finally saw her face. It was a network of scars and pain. Her right eye was stapled shut. A tiny trickle of blood leaked from the ruin of the tear duct. Her left eye was barely any better. It was discolored and bloodshot. I had thought her wings were the worst, but I was proven wrong in that moment. The worst part was her expression. Always I had known Rainbow Dash to be defiant and proud, ambitious and loyal, but her expression was an awful parody of that. It was an ugly thing. Every line spoke of anger. Her crooked and scarred lips were twisted in a partial sneer of miserable hate, and her single servable eye was narrowed and glaring. Dash snorted. "Twilight, I was hoping you would come along. Want to see a new trick I learned?" Without waiting for an answer, Dash lashed out with her back legs and slammed her hoofs into Fluttershy's ribcage. I winced at the cracked sound and her scream of pain. "Neat, huh?" That twisted sneer turned up in a grim parody of satisfaction. Dash, please. You're dead. I'm sorry. I know I can never be forgiven for not finding you, but don't take it out on Fluttershy, I said softly. I didn't want to have to repeat what I had to do with Pinkie. You think she's blameless? Dash said. You think any of you are blameless? Her voice hit a roar so fast it made me jump. What do you mean? Fluttershy didn't do anything, I said, unwilling to believe the gentle pony could ever have had anything to do with what happened at Sugarcube Corner. Exactly, it's what she didn't do. Why don't you tell the story, Shy? Rainbow Dash said with a crooked and painful-looking smile. Fluttershy cried softly for a few minutes. Neither I nor Rainbow Dash spoke. My stomach turned as I realized she even seemed to be enjoying her tears. Before long, she lost patience. Although, tell her! Dash roared before ripping out another feather. With a small cry of pain, Fluttershy started talking through her sobs. It was supposed to be me. Me, she said weakly. Come on, Shy, give her more than that, Dash taunted. The Dash disappeared. I was supposed to meet Pinkie to help her. To help her bake cupcakes. She said she needed help. She started to cry again, but stopped with a muffled cry as Rainbow Dash delivered another blow to her ribs. But I had to cancel at the last minute because Angel had come down with a cold, and I needed to stay home to nurse him back to health. As the truth slowly dawned on me, I realized why Fluttershy had never spoken up. She knew what she had escaped when the truth came out. She knew it had almost been her, and by some cosmic slip-up, she had missed the head pony's axe by inches. But Pinkie Pie sounded really disappointed when I told her, but she said she might be able to get. At this, Fluttershy started crying. Oh, Dash, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I swear I didn't. Rainbow Dash glared at her with her one good eye. Finish the story. Her voice was a deadly whisper. Pinkie Pie said it was okay, that she could probably get Rainbow Dash to help her instead. I never saw either of them again. Finally finished, she broke down crying. And there you have it, Twilight. So, still think she's so blameless? Dash said hatefully. I was stunned. I had no idea how close Fluttershy had come to being the one I found on the slab in that horrible basement, or what she must have been dealing with all this time. I thought I had felt responsible because I hadn't seen it coming, because I hadn't gotten there in time, but Fluttershy... No, it's not her fault, Dash, I said, unwilling to let Fluttershy suffer anymore. She didn't know, and couldn't have known. You knew Fluttershy better than anyone. You went to flight school together. She gave everything into caring for the creatures around Ponyville. She only did what she always did. She put her duty and her kindness first. With that final word, I forced a painful surge of magic forward, sheathing Dash in my telekinesis spell. I slammed her into the blood-stained rack in the corner. With a twist of my head, I snapped the restraints shut and locked them. No! No, not here! Anywhere but here! I drowned out her words. Whatever that thing was, it wasn't Rainbow Dash, and the Dash I knew wouldn't have blamed anyone. That thing was just some trick made to torment us. I undid the restraints on Fluttershy, who had fainted, and pulled her onto my back. As I made my way up the stairs, the door behind me slammed shut on its own. I stopped and stared back, as I heard Dash start screaming again. But what was worse was that I heard a second voice, playful and full of laughter.
Hey, Dashy, why do you think they call it a hacksaw?
I dropped Fluttershy on one of the steps as softly as I could and ran back to the door. No, Pinkie, please! I slammed the door open. The room was empty. No slab, no rack, no Rainbow Dash, no Pinkie Pie. I backed out and went back up the stairs. As I lifted Fluttershy's thin form onto my back, I couldn't help wondering if I'd just damned whatever was left of my friend to a living hell of torment under the knife of a giggling psychopath. So guys, this was at Sugarcube Corner chapter 7, chapter 7, and I greatly apologize for the microphone quality. I'm gonna buy a new microphone soon. I don't know when. I think I'm going to go tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, but it's gonna improve in the next few days, so hang tight. See you.